Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. How are ya? Look what I've got. I've got some watermelon rind. Remember that watermelon I bought for $2.99 the other day? I brought it home. I cut it up and I stored my watermelon in an airtight container, and I ended up with a watermelon rind. So I have 2 halves of watermelon rind. And do you know that you can eat the watermelon rind? You can do a lot of things with watermelon rind, but today we're going to make some refrigerator pickles from the watermelon rind. Aren't you excited? Say yes. Yes, yes, we're excited. All right, stick with me and let's see what we get. Thanks for joining me today. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Okay, here we go. This is the watermelon rind, and this is only half of the watermelon itself. Okay, so this is just half of the watermelon. Now, since I processed my watermelon, I rendered the rind off of just half of the watermelon, and I have had it in the ice water in the refrigerator in a covered container for a couple of days. And this is what it looks like. And you can see that I have peeled the green off. I cut that part off. There's some pink left. I'm not concerned about that. Actually, it makes it looks more attractive. So, there's my watermelon rind. That's actually, it's quite a lot. But I'm going to cut these down into more manageable pieces. So I will do that off camera. I'm not going to put you through that unnecessary agony. Okay, now this is what I've got. I've got a couple of clean empty pickle jars that I'm going to use to put the refrigerator pickles in. And of course these come with lug lids, which are awesome. And I've got a jar of hamburger dill chip brine. Now, a lot of you who watch regularly, you know that I don't throw away pickle brine. I save it and I reuse it to make refrigerator pickles, and I make them out of a lot of different vegetables like bell peppers, carrots, celery, onion, all kinds of things. And it's a good way to use the ends of various vegetables that you have. Plus, there's so much good left in this brine. I don't throw it away. I save it. And that's what I use it for. You can also use pickle brine for other things, but you can search that if you like. Now, downstairs in my larder, I have a jar of zesty pickle brine, you can see from August of 2020. And I grown some cucumbers at that time, and I made the pickles. And this is actually, I think it's a Mrs. Wages brand that I picked up at the Farm and Fleet. And I had some brine left, and tell you the truth, I didn't want to waste that brine. And back in 2020, as now, things were in a shortage, things were going up in price exponentially, and things were hard to find. So I was in no way going to throw this away. So, and you can see this was my pre-painter's tape labels, and these labels are murder to get off, and I quit using them, frankly, because why? So I'm going to do a jar of the watermelon rind refrigerator pickles with this zesty pickle brine. Now, you may wonder what this is, and well, you may ask, and I will tell you. I experimented with some so-called cowboy candy. It's jalapenos, but I used canned jalapenos. They were already canned, and so I just wanted to see what I could do with that. So this is what was left. This is the jalapeno brine and sugar, so it makes this like a syrupy, very tasty texture. Actually, it's very tasty, very sweet, very zippy. I can use this. I've used it in sweet and sour, stir fry, etc. But I didn't want to throw that away because sugar is not cheap. So I'm going to incorporate some of this jalapeno syrup. Isn't that a great name? Into the zesty pickle brine. And we're just going to see how this comes out. Either way, it's going to be good. It's going to be fine. Now, the reason these are soaked in cold water is because it keeps them crispy and crunchy, which that's what I want, to keep them as crunchy as possible. As I go through the process, I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Some of you may have seen this before, but as far as making refrigerator pickles, but let's go through it because we are using the watermelon rind. Okie doke, I'm going to chop this up, come back, and we'll get her going. Okay, now I poured the dill pickle brine into the saucepan. I've got that going. I'm going to bring it to a boil. And I have the jalapeno syrup in this pan on the back of the stove. So I'm going to pour this zesty pickle brine. See the spices in there? Yup, that's what came with that packet. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to taste it to see if I think it's sweet enough. Now, my first experience with this, that gets boiling, it'll make you cough. So be careful if you decide to use it. All right, the dill pickle juice is boiling. I've got 2 jars filled. These jars hold 1.5 pints, and this is what I have left out of, and this is just half of the watermelon rind. Okay, so I'm going to pour the pickle juice in here because I don't want to waste any of it and take the chance that I'm going to spill any of it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just make 1 jar of dill pickle watermelon rind refrigerator pickles. Okay, I've got the dill pickle brine on top of the watermelon rind. Rind. So what I did, I poured them in. Now these are packed pretty tight, but I poured the brine on top, and then I took my chopstick and I put it down in the middle and kind of get out the air bubbles, and so that it would sink. The reason I packed it so much is because these will shrink a little bit, and I want the jar to be as full as I can get it. All right, I've got my jalapeno syrup and the zesty pickle brine right here. I don't know how this is going to be. Let's see. I don't know. That's pretty zippy. Oh, mama! I don't think I'm going to put any more jalapeno syrup in there, but I'm just going to turn the heat down on it a little bit, and I'm going to think about this a minute and decide whether or not I want it any sweeter. Alrighty, I've got 3 jars. Now I'm going to try not to cough because I'm telling you, when you use the spicy mix, you will cough. That's just how it is. So try to get some ventilation going if you can. When my kids were young and I would make pickles, they would be outside playing or whatever, and they would come in and they'd scrunch up their faces when they would smell the pickle brine, and they would say, "Not pickles," because the house would smell like pickle brine and vinegar. They liked to eat them. They did not like to smell it when I was cooking them. Okay, I got 2 jars of the spicy pickle mix. Now, with the jalapeno syrup in there, and off camera I did throw in another dollop of the jalapeno syrup to kind of sweeten it up a little bit more. But they are very, they are very, very spicy. I'm here to tell you. I have 1 jar of the dill pickle rind, watermelon rind, but I have all this dill pickle juice left over. So I'm going to use that. And I also have, this is what I have left of half of the watermelon rind. So, and the other one is not cut up yet. So I'm going to process that today as well. Now, I think what I'll do, I will grab another jar, and I'm going to have to heat this up again so it's boiling. And then I will pack another jar with the remainder of this and cut up some more rind so that I can have at least a full pint. And honestly, maybe I might do it, I don't know. But this is still a lot of pickle brine. But, okay, we shall see. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to let this sit until it cools off. And these lids, because of the hot liquid, it will form a natural seal. And you can, and I will pop these in the refrigerator when they're cooled down. Okay? All right, that's it. And, oh, and these will last many months in the refrigerator. They are refrigerator pickles. They're not going to spoil. They're not going to go anywhere. I can tell you they will last, when I say many months, I am not exaggerating. They can last much longer than that. I would venture to say even over a year. So, all right, that's it. I love you guys. You know I do. Thank you for sticking with me on this. I'm going to put some labels on here when they cool off so that I can remember what is what. And I appreciate you. I hope this helps you. Think about it before you throw away that watermelon rind. Now, do a Google search, do a search, DuckDuckGo, whatever you want to use. Do a search. What can I make with watermelon rind? And I guarantee you hundreds of things will come up, because watermelon rind can be used in curry. It can be used in stir fry. It can be used to make watermelon rind candy. Yes, seriously. And and slaw. There's a nice vinegar slaw. You can use watermelon rind so many ways, and because of the type of food that it is, it will absorb. It's kind of like there's certain foods that just absorb the flavors of whatever you put on it. So you can roast it. You can do whatever you like. You would be surprised. So I'm going to fill up another pickle jar. I'm going to take the remainder of the watermelon rind. I'm going to blanch it, and I'm going to freeze it for future cooking after I make a little bit of slaw out of it. So I've never made slaw out of watermelon rind before, but hey, why not give it a try? Don't be afraid to try new stuff. And there's one thing about the watermelon rind. Once you know that you can eat it, once you know that you can use it, and you can do things with it and supply food for yourself and your family, you will stop and think before you ever throw watermelon rind away again. Now, I do know some people give it to their chickens, they feed it to their pigs, they put it in their compost, they do all kinds of things with it, but they're not consuming it themselves. Think about it a little bit. What can you do? And if you have had any experience with watermelon rind in cooking it, processing it, doing something with it to actually eat it as food, put it in the comments, because I would love to know, and share it with the rest of us, because you might give us some ideas and things we never thought of. Oh, and do you know that you can make watermelon rind preserves and watermelon rind jam? Yes. Yes, you can. All right. I love ya. As always, little is much when God is in it. And I will talk to you guys later. All right. I love ya. Bye-bye.